Have you ever had that specific creeping paranoia? You know the one I'm talking about.
Oh, absolutely.
You leave a crowded room, the door clicks shut behind you, and for just a second you freeze and you wonder, what are they saying about me right now?
It's that universal fear, isn't it?
Yeah,
We all operate on the social contract that people are, basically the same whether we're in the room or not.
exactly. It's a polite fiction. But today, we are diving into a source that doesn't just question that fiction, it completely shreds it.
Yeah, it really does.
We're looking at this, frankly, terrifying account called The Lazarus Trap, a masterclass in betrayal.
It's a heavy title, but I think you'll find it earns it.
Oh, it earns it. This is the story of a man who didn't just wonder. He didn't just, put a glass to the wall. He built an elaborate, almost Hollywood-level production to find out the truth.
And theatricals is exactly the right word. We're not talking about someone checking their partner's text messages here. This is an analysis of a source from a wealthy CEO who faked a deep coma.
A coma, just to test his family's loyalty.
And that's our mission for this deep dive. We're going to look at the anatomy of this deception. Because on the surface, it's a thriller. But underneath, it's a really complex study of greed, trust, and, well, betrayal.
A whole hierarchy of betrayal, really. You've got the fake coma, a cheating wife, a scheming brother.
And the part that really got me, a corrupt lawyer, is what happens when you remove all consequences from a situation.
Okay, so let's set the stage. Our narrator, the source, keeps him anonymous, so we'll just call him the CEO. On paper, he has everything.
Huge company, millions in the bank, the whole deal.
But the source makes it clear he is miserable.
He's incredibly isolated. And that isolation, it breeds paranoia. Though I guess it's not paranoia if they really are out to get you.
Fair point. He talks about his wife, Elena, as just this financial black hole.
A constant drain. And his brother, Mark, is no better. He basically sees the CEO as a line of credit.
He uses the phrase a walking ATM. I mean, what a terrible way to feel about your own family.
Yeah. And most people in that situation, they might, suggest therapy. Have a tough conversation.
Or hire a private eye, maybe, if you're really suspicious.
Right. You don't usually go nuclear as your first option. But this guy, he decides to stage his own near-death experience.
Which is just wild. How did he even pull that off?
Well, he's a strategist. That's how he built his company. He didn't want whispers or clues. He wanted proof.
The unvarnished truth.
Exactly. And he realized that as long as he was awake and powerful, everyone would just wear a mask. So to see their true faces, he had to become powerless.
Hence the trap. He gets a doctor friend to help him, which, by the way, having a doctor willing to do this says a lot about your level of influence.
It says you operate in a world where rules are flexible.
So they check him into a private clinic, they stage some kind of severe reaction, and suddenly he's in a bed, intubated, with monitors beeping.
And the doctor plays his part perfectly. He tells the family he's in a deep coma. He cannot hear you.
He cannot hear you. Why is that phrasing so important?
Because it's the permission structure.
Yeah.
It removes the observer effect. The moment the doctor says that, he's telling them there are no social consequences in this room. Say whatever you want.
Wow. And you have to imagine the discipline required from the CEO, lying there with a tube in, unable to even twitch.
It's 3 days.
3 days, I can't sit still for 3 minutes.
It's an eternity. He's just lying there, listening, waiting for his family. And then they arrive.
Okay, so let's get into the layers of betrayal. Layer 1, the wife and the brother.
Right. So Elena, the wife, she rushes in. And at first, she plays the part of the grieving spouse perfectly.
Holding his hand, crying.
Asking the doctors all the right questions. Is he in pain? Will he be okay? A total performance.
But the narrator says he could tell they were performance tears. Because the second the nurses leave the room...
It's like a switch is flipped. The text says she drops his hand. The crying just stops instantly.
That is so cold, so robotic. And then she leans over his bed. But not to whisper a goodbye.
No. She leans over his comatose body to kiss the man standing on the other side.
His brother, Mark.
I mean, the sheer audacity of it, the geography of the betrayal is just, it's brutal.
They're literally using his body as a bridge for their affair. He's not a person anymore. He's just an obstacle.
Exactly. And the thief words he hears her whisper are, finally, I thought he would never go down.
Go down. Like he's an opponent in a boxing match, not her husband. It implies they've been waiting for this.
For a long, long time. This wasn't a fling. It was a plan. And Mark's response is even colder. He doesn't say, I love you. He says, did you get the bank codes?
Ugh. It's a heist. This was never about love. It was a heist.
A pure liquidity event, as they'd say in his world.
Yeah.
They're just waiting for him to flatline so they can drain the accounts.
Now, if I'm the guy in the bed, that's when I'm jumping up. I mean, the betrayal is complete. My wife and my brother, it's over.
But he doesn't move. He waits. And thank God he did.
Why? What could possibly be worse?
Because if he jumped up then, he would have caught the rat, sure.
Yeah.
But he would have completely missed the snake.
The snake. Okay, so layer 2. Elena leaves the room to get a coffee. Mark is alone with his brother's body. And the door opens again.
And in walks Sarah.
Sarah, the family attorney, the person who is legally bound to protect his interests.
The firewall. The
Yeah.
one person who's supposed to be on his side no matter what.
So he's probably thinking, okay, finally, an ally. The adult in the room.
You'd think so. But Mark doesn't say, hello, Sarah. The first thing he says is the witch gone?
The witch. He means Elena, the woman he was just kissing.
The very same one. And Sarah laughs, confirms Elena is gone, and then she kisses Mark.
Wait, what? No.
Oh, yes.
So, the brother and the lawyer are also having an affair.
It's a masterclass in evil.
Yeah.
The CEO is being cheated on by his wife with his brother, and the wife is being cheated on by the brother with the lawyer.
My brain just short-circuited. That is a predatory chain of command.
It's a hierarchy of predation. Mark is at the top. He was using Elena to get the immediate cash, the bank codes, but his long-term play, the real prize, was with Sarah.
And their conversation.
Yeah.
It's not about passion. It's about paperwork.
Chillingly bureaucratic. Mark asks, you changed the paperwork right. Elena thinks she gets half.
And what does Sarah say?
She says, of course, Elena gets nothing. You get full power of attorney. Once he's gone, we kick her out and take everything.
This is what terrifies me. If he had actually died, they would have gotten away with it.
100%.
Yeah.
The legal system would have seen valid paperwork signed by his trusted lawyer. It would have worked. The only person who knew the truth was the man in the coma.
So he's lying there, realizing his entire life is a lie, his family, his friends, his legal counsel, everyone.
It's the ultimate betrayal. But it's also the moment he goes from being the victim to being the judge.
Yeah.
He has all the evidence he needs.
The Lazarus moment.
The resurrection is coming.
So Elena comes back into the room. Now all 3 of them are there. Elena, thinking she's won. Mark, thinking he's tricked Elena. And Sarah, thinking she's secured the whole fortune.
The tension in that room that only one person can feel must have been unbearable.
And then Mark, playing the part of the grieving brother, says they should tell the doctor to, let him go.
It's what he would have wanted. The classic line of the usurper.
And Elena leans in to give him one last kiss on the forehead. And that's when the trap springs.
Boom. The source says he opens his eyes and grabs her wrist.
I love the description of the chaos. Elena lets out a scream so loud he thinks the windows will shatter. Mark literally hits the wall. Sarah drops her briefcase.
Their entire reality just imploded in a single second. It's not just surprise. It's like a ghost has grabbed them. Total cognitive dissonance.
And the CEO doesn't miss a beat. He sits up, pulls out the fake tube. He's not weak or groggy. He's furious, and he's been rehearsing his lines for 3 days.
And he just dismantles them, one by one. He doesn't yell. He targets them with surgical precision.
He looks right at Mark and says, brother, for a smart guy, you talk too loud.
Devastating. It tells him 2 things. I heard everything, and your own arrogance is what brought you down.
Then he turns to Sarah, the lawyer. No emotion, just, you're fired, and reported to the Bar Association.
That's her entire career, her life, gone.
Yeah.
He's not just firing her. He's erasing her professional identity.
But he saves the cruelest and maybe the most just line for his wife.
This is the psychological kill shot. He looks at Elena and just says, and you're broke.
And then the twist of the knife.
Mark was going to steal your share anyway. You betrayed me for nothing.
That's the dagger. He doesn't just divorce her. He reveals she was a fool. He turns them on each other.
He ensures there's no honor among thieves. He just lit the fuse and walked away.
And that's exactly what happens next, right? In the aftermath.
Yep. He hits the nurse's call button. Security, who are already on standby, come in and escort the trio out of the room.
And the source describes them all just screaming at each other as they're dragged down the hall. Elena at Mark, Mark at Sarah. A symphony of chaos.
They walked in as a team and left as mortal enemies.
And the CEO. He just checks out of the hospital an hour later, walks out into the sun.
The source ends by saying he's single now, has 0 family left, but he's richer than ever. And then he says, honestly, I've never slept better.
I have to ask, do we believe that? I've never slept better. He just found out his whole life was a lie. That's a heavy price for a good night's sleep.
It is, but think about what he traded. He traded constant low-level anxiety and suspicion for a painful but clean clarity.
He excised the rot.
Exactly. The surgery hurt like hell, but now the cancer is gone. He's alone, yes, but he's also free.
And that really is the point of the Lazarus trap, isn't it? It's a cynical view of humanity, but in his case, it was a necessary one.
Well, it goes back to that old philosophical question, the ring of Gyges. If you had a ring that made you invisible, would you still be a good person?
He basically gave them all an invisibility ring.
He did. He made himself invisible. And they immediately showed him that their morality was completely dependent on him watching them.
He out-schemed the schemers. It's kind of satisfying in a really dark way.
It is. But it also makes you think about your own life, right? It makes you really appreciate boring loyalty.
Yes, boring is beautiful. If your partner is in the hospital room with you just like quietly reading a magazine and complaining about the parking.
That's the one. You keep that one. That's true love.
So as we wrap this up, the story is just, it's so dense. A lifetime of lies unraveled in just 3 days of silence.
But a future was saved. He's alone, but he's safe. He can actually rebuild on solid ground now.
The trap was really an escape hatch for him.
A very dramatic one.
Okay, so here's the final thought I want to leave you with. We all like to think we'd pass this test, right? That our loved ones would.
It's the uncomfortable thought.
It is. If you could press pause on your life, if you could become totally invisible for 3 days, would you actually be relieved by what you heard? Or would you be lying there staring at the ceiling, planning your very own Lazarus moment?
And that is the question. And I think for most of us, it's probably a question best left unanswered.
Probably safer that way. Thanks for diving deep with us. We'll see you next time.